for the YouTube link. Okay, got it. All right, we have the YouTube link shared. We're live. I think that we can just start. Martin, do you want to go first? I think that you're muted. We cannot hear. Sorry.
Now?
Yeah, that's perfect.
That's weird. Something changed on Restream, I think. Anyway, after the talk yesterday, I continued integrating the for choice updated call. I did a couple of PRs, very minor. For example, renaming SSE types to just types, because there are some that are not SSE specific, and I wanted to add some for the structures that are sent to the execution layer. I'm almost done. I will have a PR today with that integration. And after that, I think something important is that when we run the client, we are running everything on mainnet. It could be, it's the most realistic one, but there are some things that are difficult. For example, if we want to have a synced execution client, it takes too much disk on my computer. So I think we definitely should prioritize adding some configuration for a testnet. And I think that's what I'm going to be working afterwards, so that we can start testing with a synced execution client.
That sounds awesome. It's an issue that we had since, I don't know, maybe the first 2 months, but we didn't tackle it yet. So it's great that you can take it. Thank you for that. Thanks for the workshop as well. I think it was quite interesting. I think that the next one is Tomás.
Yeah, yesterday I continued working with the attested the processing of batch attestations. I finished that PR. It's already for review, and today I'm gonna try changing the way we store things in the beacon state. I'm gonna change the validators list for a map. An array wrapper. There's some kind of library that allows changing the backend for maps and other things. I'm gonna try using that and check if it improves the performance of processing attestations and in general processing blocks. And with that, I also need to change the pre-processing we do when serializing and deserializing to allow doing this conversion automatically. That's it. I'm also gonna check some PRs and things like that.
That's great. Yeah, thank you for that. It has been very interesting to see how we went from maybe, I don't know, a minute or maybe infinite time for a single block, and now we are in a still big but measurable
It takes
amount
something like 30 minutes. I think one block was 50. 30 minutes, no seconds, or something like 50 at most. Yeah, it's down to some reasonable time at least.
Yeah, it's something that it's more manageable now. Like we at least can say, okay, these are the parts that are taking the most time. You did a great analysis on that one, so thank you for that. What else? Then Fernando is the next one.
Yes. For my part, I start to addressing the comments about the bit list that Thomas left in the PR. I also just started to working on another issue related with the execution client, the fortress implementation.
All right, that's great. Thank you for that. Let me know if you have any questions regarding the bitlist PR. Then we have Akash.
Yeah, I implemented the SSE deserialize, not snappy decompression for framing format. I made a draft PR. So it currently works only for the first chunk type. I forgot the name. I think it's called something stream ID or something. So it works on the example given in the doc. And if you think it's good, then I'll proceed with the other implementing the decompression for other formats.
Okay, that sounds good. Also, Mega, do you think that at this point we can test this using some of the spec tests, like just replacing it in some places? Or do you think that's something that we probably want to do further along the line after more chunk types are included? Or is that not even tested in the spec tests?
No, it's not even included in the spec test. The spec test uses snappy compression, but it's the block compression format. We use Snappier directly, and it's just they use it because it's too much data, so any compression is good, and Snappy is just so fast, and it's already included in client, so it was free to add, but it's not tested in any way.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Then we probably should test it manually afterwards, just including it in the client and see if it works correctly. Okay, yeah, we'll talk about that later. I'm glad that you have implemented the first chunk type. That's awesome. All right, and the next one is Mete.
Hello. I've been trying to implement the Merkle proof generation to the spec test and get some issues about it. Currently fixing those. There are some bitstream issues. No, always like that right.
Okay, I saw that you asked some questions. If there's anything that's not been answered, we can just get back to it after the meeting, and if we need to sync, we can just do it. But yeah, I'll take a look at the questions. I think that maybe someone already gave you some pointers, but if not, I will take over.
Yeah, actually, Thomas, he has answered my question, but I'm having following question about those as well. So I'll write it. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you, Mete. As for me, I've spent most of yesterday on the one hand making sure that I had everything in place for the bit lists review. That was a tricky one. I was just chatting with Thomas yesterday that consensus specs are greatly specified for stuff like state transitions, but SSZ and specifically bitlist and bit vectors are kind of not very well documented. Specifically bit order and that kind of stuff. Like it's something that you don't see very directly. But I think that we have everything sorted out, and I started doing some benchmarks to see if currently the internal implementation that we have is just taking the bit order as it comes, and that's it. We don't do anything about it. So that gives us two problems. On the one hand, we need to change a couple of things in the bit vector library that may be bugged or not useful for some stuff. On the other hand, it might be slower than just representing everything as a big number, which is something that Elixir already has out of the box. And maybe we just want to do bitwise operations over numbers. But that decision needs a benchmark, so I'm currently doing a benchmark after finishing the review on Fernando's PR. So I will be finishing that benchmark today and put in a document everything that I learned so that we can also have it in the repo documentation. And we can take a decision on that, if we want to go to number representation, if we want to keep the bit order, the little endian bit order representation. For now, what I will do is two things. I will, one, fix the bit vector library because it's back now. And on the other hand, I will build a benchmark so that after fixing that, we can decide if we want to move to numbers or not. So that's what I will be doing today. And I think that I don't have any more updates. Do we have any final questions or comments? Okay, perfect. Thank you everyone for joining, and we'll see you all tomorrow.